MovieHolics!
What up, guys? Kyler Wilson here, and a few videos ago, you might remember that I issued a challenge of sorts to anybody who wanted to come on the channel that lived in the greater Nashville area and loved watching our stuff. They wanted to talk about Star Wars, and either they could agree with me or disagree with me, however they want to do it. We're gonna have a few of those in this episode. I believe we got 3 people, and this one is Mr. Eric Scott, Christian Wick, and Caleb Scher. We are going to be talking about some Star Wars. What would you say is the biggest point you disagree with?
Kylo Ren.
My first biggest problem with you, and I understand this issue, is the structure problem.
I also thought it was weird that he would get. Why would Luke give this random dude the map if he has a sister and Han Solo, like, they're supposed to be, like, you know, super tight, and like, he's like, oh no, I don't want my sister to, like, I don't want to see her. She's not even Leia anymore. I don't want to even
her. I liked her better when I was kissing her.
The scene with Kylo Ren and Han, and the idea that, you know, the sun's being depleted away, and then it goes real dark, and it all turns red, and then Han dies. There was some meaningfulness there that I would almost think that some people who aren't as into it as others probably didn't pick up on.
But that was one of the, in my opinion, that was one of the best visual moments in the
whole
film.
movie.
No, the CG. What was funny was what you were talking about. The 3 people didn't bother me. I actually had to I watched your first review of this. I didn't even notice that Junket Plunkett, whatever his name is, that's the "You stole my Falcon." That guy. I didn't even know that guy was CGI in the face.
The prophecy says that Anakin Skywalker will bring balance to the Force, but
well, it didn't say Anakin Skywalker, like, blatantly.
Well,
it said,
you're right.
A person.
That a person would, and he's believed to be the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
But that hasn't happened.
Technically, what I heard, I've been doing lots of research on YouTube and stuff. That's all I do in my spare time when I'm, like, got nothing to do. What I've heard is that he technically did give balance to the Force because of the Jedi. They were starting to work with not just the Jedi. Like, they were kind of going outside the code. They were like, you know, it wasn't of the code to go send Anakin under and, like, spy on people. The Jedi didn't do that. There was also too many Jedi in the galaxy, honestly. Like, when it started out, you know, it was like 2 versus 2. And, like, you know, that's how it mainly was. And then, you know, back then it was like armies, you know, that's the the Old Republic. And then it came back to the Jedi just being overall everything. And then, so, technically, to balance the Force, he balanced it with the dark side. Like, when he turned to Darth Vader, killed all the Jedi, that was the balance. And then it got back to just 2 versus 2.
But that's theory, right?
That's all theory.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, that is kind of how the balancing of, like, him being the chosen one was.
I guess that would be the second question I would like to ask J.J. Abrams.
There you go.
So if you're watching this,
JJ, hook a brother up.
2 questions.
At least let's push it farther. Let's make it more crazy.
Just giving it a little bit of steroid doesn't, like, make it better in my eyes. Like, that's the Jurassic Park mentality, right?
Right.
Just instead of do one T-Rex, do 2 T-Rexes. That'll get them. Oh wait, that didn't work. So let's do the Spinous. Oh shoot, that didn't work either. Let's do the Indominus Rex. And that movie was fucking terrible. Which, by the way, if you want to cuss, you can feel free.
What if she was, trained? Like, what if she is, Luke's daughter, or like she was force sensitive and like she has been trained as a youngling, and like, because of the Empire, coming down onto the Jedi again, which they never stopped. Like, what if back in the TV show they have this thing called something mortem, and it's about how Anakin tried to balance the Force by these Jedi ancients, and by like there was this old man who controlled the balance of the Force, and he had twins, and one was a daughter of Jedi, like good, and he had a son of a Sith who was evil, and like he balanced them, and then they die and stuff like that. But there was a part where they had the son show Anakin part of the future, and by doing that turned him to the dark side and wanted him to not. Like, he saw that the Jedi, he's like, oh, the Jedi, we need to kill them all, and stuff like that, and then the old man comes back and, like, uses his, like, some Force power, just touches him in the head, and he's, like, lost memory of everything that happened.
Huh.
And, like, there was some speculation I heard of that, like, that's probably what kind of training that Luke could have been doing, is, like, when he was...
To Rey?
Yeah, like, to Rey.
What if Kylo Ren is training with Luke Skywalker? Okay? Han and Leia have another kid.
Mm-hmm.
Kylo Ren turns on Luke. Mm-hmm. Big debate between Han and Leia as to what they do with their child now. Because Kylo Ren knows who his father and mother are. Let's not hide that. He knows. What if one of them, call it Leia, I don't know, says, we need to hide her just like Luke and I were hidden. So they hide her away with a family somewhere on a planet. Let's call it Jakku. Okay? Which is, I think if my memory serves, I want to say Jakku's even further out in the systems than even Tatooine is. So, I mean, it would make sense. And that's what drives Han and Leia apart.
What would have equaled better, in my opinion, is getting an original story. I want to show you something real quick. And this is credit to... the Nostalgia Critic. I just so happened to find this last night, so check it out.
But did it really have to be so similar to the other movies?
Ah, come on. If you honestly see a connection between an evil dictatorship, chasing a droid with secret plans, landing on a desert planet where a wide-eyed youth comes across it, follows in the footsteps of a mentor who has a connection to the villain being controlled by a shadowy overlord, only to lose that mentor while discovering a surprise father-son relationship leading to a battle against a giant round weapon that destroys planets and is about to destroy the base of a heroic resistance, but is stopped just in time, resulting in our main character leaving to train with an old wise master from the past, well, then that's just silly.
So, what do you have to say for yourself now?
Well, look, there are a lot of similarities, but there are enough differences, I think, to make us still enjoy this film.
The Jedi Academy, I was going to also talk about, as since they mentioned it, and it is canon that he did an academy, like, what I'm wondering is, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to do backflashes of his academy? Are they going to show, like, a CGI'd young Mark Hamill and stuff like that?
I don't know, I mean, theoretically, Kylo Ren only had his, like, he slaughtered everybody, say, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Kylo Ren's got to be, like, 30 years old. And... that
he didn't look that old, but he apparently is.
Right.
He didn't act his age either.
I don't think he could have been, like, I don't think that he's 20 or 25, because, I mean, because it seems like Luke's been gone a while, you know, and...
Yeah, he's, like, super old.
Right. So I figure Luke started training and got Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren slaughtered everybody when he was around 15, is my guess. So... those
angsty
events,
teenager fades. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So he doesn't have to necessarily be like a CG young Luke Skywalker.
And Kylo Ren says, I can train you in the Force. And then they actually go to her on camera. The Force. And then all of a sudden she turns around and kicks the ever-loving piss out of him.
You don't know what I would have loved? Here's one thing that could have happened that would have changed my entire outlook on the movie, and I would have forgiven literally everything that happened, because I would have been like, you know what? That shows you got balls, Disney. If Ray had straight been like, great, let's go. And they had walked off that planet with one another, dude. I'd have been like, oh! Dude.
Yeah.
If that had happened, that would have been dope.
That, you know what? But you know what? And that is probably, you know, I mentioned it at the very beginning of this movie, or in the very beginning of this talk, I should say, that for me, being the fan of Star Wars I am, I didn't want a fan favorite film. I wanted something new.
Yeah.
Fuck me if that would have happened. Oh my god. That would have been me walking out of the theater going, what the F just happened? What the hell?
Yep.
And I would have probably seen it 3 or 4 more times just
Agreed.
to see it again. I
Agreed.
mean, oh my god, that would have been epic.
Dude.
Holy cow.
It would have been amazing.
That would have been
But we
fantastic.
just, I'm not directing these movies.
And
so
I don't
what
have the millions of dollars to buy the rights to write the screenplay. So
billions of dollars.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, billions of dollars. Yeah.
world, and if you're constantly throwing the shit in my face,
We didn't need to believe the world. We already believe in the world.
I don't anymore.
You just lost faith. You need to
No,
come back.
there is no.
You need to come back.
You
Casted the Max guy, the old man that like dies in the first 5 minutes. They recasted him apparently too, and that. But I mean,
So
he could come back as like a Force ghost, you know, because he obviously was, you know, a part of the Academy in some
Right.
way for knowing Ben. But like, there's literally no backstory with him, and I really hoped that they did put a backstory.
Yeah, for sure.
Border Troopers.
Okay. You like
So-
the design or what?
So there's a couple of things. So I think I like the look of him. The new mask is great. I like the idea though. Psychologically reconditioned beings. Instead of kids instead of clones. Because it brings in the whole psychological aspect of somebody breaking down. Like Finn supposedly had done, which they could have done better.
Why would it affect him? He embraced the dark side. He should be more powerful than ever.
That's the one thing where it's like, I did it. It's like the thing where you're always trying to achieve something, and then once you achieve it, you're like, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. You know? Yeah, yes,
Sounds like
they
my
didn't
first time having
visually.
sex.
Whoa now. No. Just stop right there. I'm gonna force block that right now.
What did you think of the entire intro? Like after the credits, like what did you think of, you know, them changing, you know, from the original trilogy?
Mm-hmm.
They had like the cool shuttles, like with the fins things, and they all go out like a try, and then it goes down. They took those out, and they put these random little like mini clone ships in there, and they like just go down into the planet. Like, what did you think of, like how the new Star Destroyer looked and all that?
Well, I mean, I personally, like, I was fine with the Star Destroyer. I mean, that kind of stuff, like, I don't really hearken on. Like,
Yeah.
it looked cool.
Yeah.
It looked better than the prequels did.
It's-
Nostalgia for you.
Yeah, it is purely like I swear I got chills both times I've seen this movie.
Okay.
When I heard the big bang at the very beginning and Star Wars come up with a string, I just I'm in. Let's go.
Now, what about the fan service? Because the fan service and nostalgia are very, very
Yes.
similar to one another. And I've got a problem with the fan service.
Fan service, you know, the thing about it is that this movie is being brought out in a time when we are 1 and sometimes even 2 generations later than the originals. And that's where I come into like a lot of the originality. Let's find something
Right.
different we could have done. I'm glad that they went and they wanted to make a new story and start telling some of what happens after Return of the Jedi. Again, my only issue is that it was almost too much. Again, I mean, a lot of that fan service just goes back to how it mirrors A New Hope. It really does.
This guy is one of the. He is arguably the most powerful Force user that we've ever seen.
Can you quantify that though?
Yeah, because I've never seen anybody else stop a blaster bolt in midair.
Maybe he passed blaster bolting, but he didn't pass sword play.
It kind of pisses me off when I think about like R2D2 being on the ship the whole time.
Yeah.
And like, really, you didn't need the piece of that map. You
Yeah.
just needed R2. You know,
Yeah.
like
And they're like, hey, this little section here, let's just go a little search party.
Yeah.
Let's just go right here.
exactly. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know.
But like I said, I think that Finn's adeptness with weapons is a little overplayed.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that was the case. Maybe
I mean, he should have been immediately squashed by Kylo Ren.
And with how terrible stormtroopers are at shooting stuff, why he was always looking for a blaster, I don't know.
He awoke something within her. You know, when he puts the mask back on, he's like, find her. She's becoming stronger by the moment. There's something. There's the fear. Fear is back to the dark side. There's fear. That wasn't my good Yoda. I can do better. But
I mean, like, I think it'd be awesome if they like not make a movie out of it, but like also honestly just like made a little TV show, like a mini series of it. I think that would be sick.
So guys, thanks for tuning in. This has hopefully been a nice 3 for you. Got to see 3 awesome individuals. Make sure to let us know what you thought about this in the comment section below. As always, guys, you can hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or SoundCloud. Go to MovieHolics.net. Lost my voice there. And I'll catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with you.
Shing.